Hi, welcome back to Naturally Lit. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Aries moon. All right, Aries moon. The moon is your subconscious, your inner emotions. It's ruled by Cancer. It moves every 2.5 days, so there's always moon cycles, right? There's full moon, waning moon, waxing moon, and I highly suggest you guys go ahead and research that, or I'll make you a video on that. Let me know. Put a thumbs up, and I'll definitely tell you guys. So we're gonna talk about Aries moon. Aries moon. This is the moon. The moon is soft and squishy, okay? Like it's about it's think about it. It's illuminating the night, okay? This is why it rules the subconscious, and it rules our moods and our sensitivity and the way that we feel on the inside, things that we don't know how we feel about them. And now you have Aries there. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is all about passion, drive, energy. It is the warrior planet, okay? It's your libido. It is your intuition. It is your independence. It is your rage, your anger. It is your desire to live, okay? Like your desire to live. And Mars is the only planet that orbits in its own orbit independently, okay? Now, if you put that in layman's terms, it's war of emotions. So there's this constant internal war going on, and of course it depends on what is aspecting your moon and where it's located. Now, if it's below the horizon, meaning in houses from 1 to 6, this is going to really be way more internal, and it's going to be happening definitely to you, but from you, essentially. Like, it'll be happening way more from you. And if your moon is above the horizon, it happens literally to your like physical body, okay? And of course the aspects matter and all this stuff, but this is a generalization. So when we're talking about the moon with Aries, all right, with Mars, your mother could have been a fighter, you know, an athlete. In real simple terms, she could have been an athlete, you know what I'm saying? Or you could have felt like you were always at war with your mother, like it was always a fight, you guys couldn't get along. And Aries is ruled by fire, okay? So now you're putting fire and water together. Either if it's ice, you can melt it with fire, or you know, if it's waves and there's a fire, the wave is going to put that fire out. So there's always an interesting relationship between fire and water, okay? It makes up the 4 elements that make up spirit: fire, water, earth, air, man, spirit, okay? But when we're talking about an Aries moon person, and for a female, it's different than it is for a male, because a female, this is like, depending on your chart, and this is has nothing to do with sexuality, this has to do with energy. And this is what people need to understand, is that it's energetic, okay? Even though you could be a male on the outside, you could literally have a lot more feminine energy in your chart, and vice versa. So that's all gonna matter as well. But essentially with the Aries moon, you feel like you can't get a grip on emotions. Like, Aries moon people are driven, they're passionate, they're dynamic, okay? They are independent, baby. They don't hold on to grudges because they don't have time for that, all right? They're driven by desire. Their emotions and their desire and passion all go hand in hand, okay? Depending on what they're passionate about and what their emotion and what they're driven by and desiring in their life. And with Aries moon, these are people who have high sex drives. Don't mean they last long, okay? Depending on the placements, all right? Because Aries is a cardinal sign. It starts things. So it's like the spark, all right? It doesn't necessarily maintain, depending on what your other placements are. This is gonna alter that energy. But essentially, Aries moons are pioneers, you know? They start new ideas. They have visions, and they want to go for it. They will stop at nothing to get what they want to get. You know, they won't hold on to things that don't matter. But at the same time, with, you know, there's a lot of activity with this, so definitely working out is good for these people, you know. And this is it's just a placement where the emotions are observed, but in a very quick, fleeting way, you know, depending on where the placements are. The emotion, this is why Aries moons, they can be, you know, temper tantrums, you know, just quick to throw punches, literally. All right, Aries moon are known to throw punches. They're known to throw hands. Like, don't act like y'all ain't know, y'all ain't known to do that. Don't put your hands on other people. Like, don't do that. So, but Aries moons they're aggressive by nature. So they're quick to react. They're quick to act too. And that's also what makes them good though, because that means they're quick on their feet, you know? They know how to bounce back from things. That's why they don't like to hold on to grudges, because if they do go through something emotionally and they say, okay, this is what it was, boom, 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 boom. All right, on to the next one, bam. You know, sometimes depending on what the situation is, the context of the situation and how they choose to deal with that, you know, that's what will show if they're healthily using their Aries moon or if they're irrationally using it. And if you're using your Aries moon on a lower vibrational side, you're putting your hands on people, okay, you're talking shit to people and really coming at them like all up in their face, type like what's up, like challenging people because your emotions are challenged. And you always feel like your emotions are a challenge to even handle, to get a grasp on, to get an understanding about, you know, because the moon is about nourishing. It's about your mother, okay? So what you did receive and what you didn't receive from your mother. So on the high vibrational side, you might have been receiving inspiration and motivation from your mother, you know, to be independent, to be driven, to be ambitious, to be pioneering, to go for your dreams and to really push you out there. Like your mother pushed you out there, you know? Or on the low vibrational side, your mother pushed you, you know what I'm saying? Literally, figuratively. And she fought with you and she didn't, she like talked over your emotion, you know what I'm saying? She's like, okay, whatever, like it wasn't important enough for it to have a place there, you know what I'm saying? And you had to kind of yell at her to get out what you were feeling, you know what I'm saying? So with Aries moon, and as you mature, hopefully, because Aries is known as the, you know, it's the first sign, so it's where we all in our lives have Aries somewhere and Mars somewhere, and you know that energy is pinging off each other. It's all where we're kind of newer in life, okay, or where we need to have that independent, aggressive attitude, having that, yo, I'm gonna get this shit done no matter what type of attitude. And that's great because Aries moon people, they don't back down, you know, they don't look for shit. They don't back down though, you know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily look for things, but only things that interest them. You know, this is why they're spontaneous and adventurous, and they'll more than likely try anything once, you know? And for women, it's going to be this, like men are always going to be challenging you. You know what I'm saying? Men are always going to be challenging, whether it's verbal, physical, emotional, mental. You always have men, because Mars is masculine, right? It's the masculine energy that we all have in our charts, we all have in ourselves. Those type of people, or those people with that kind of energy, are going to be, you know, coming at you, especially if you have like Gemini sun. You're gonna find like you're always fighting with somebody, especially if Gemini is 11th house. You could be like fighting with a bunch of your friends all the time, and it's like a bunch of text messages and long chains of like just talking shit, you know what I'm saying? And just a lot. Yeah, so that's a little bit about Aries moon. You guys let me know what you think, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey Taurus moon, this is your video. Welcome back to Naturally Lit. I'm going to talk to you about Taurus moon. The Taurus moon, I had this placement, so this definitely resonates with me. Remember, astrology is an entire story. This is just a little piece, and yeah, you have to see how it fits into your own personal puzzle. If you want to get a natal chart, you can go to like a website, astrochart.com, astrotheme.com, and you can put in your birth time information, birth location, birth date, and you can go ahead and get your chart in there, and you can see what your moon is and which house it's in. And specifically for the moon sign, if it's below the horizon in houses from 1 to 6, this is more of an internal thing. If it's above the horizon, it's more where you experience it outside and into the world. It's something that you kind of give out to the world, you know. So yeah, the moon is represented by Cancer. Cancer is the mother, it's the womb, it's where we were born, it's our nourishment and our nurturing, and you know, our sensitivity and our just our home cooked food and all that kind of stuff, like how our mom raised us and nutritioned us and nurtured us, or how she didn't raise us and didn't nurture us and didn't give us nutrition. And so you'll see in different signs how that really works. And with Taurus, Taurus is an earth sign. So earth is, you know, this is a feminine earth sign, and it's ruled by Venus. And Venus is all about beautification and comfort and making things dope and fun and pleasures and things like that. All right. This is why Taurus people are known to be sensual, and I'll get more into that. But now you have the moon. The moon, which if you think about it, at nighttime, it's just the moon. It's dark, but it, you know, illuminates the space. And that's our subconscious, the things that are hidden in the back, the things that we remember, you know, from way back when, the way that we know how to nourish ourselves, the way that we know how to handle our emotions, you know. That's what that is, but it's in the background. It's not like you talk about handling your emotions, you just intuitively handle them through the tactics you were given, through the way that you were raised as a child, your environment, through your relationship with your mother, whether you had one or you didn't, your relationship with your father, same rules apply, you know, in your environment and everything. That's whatever that is, that creates our perspective and our kaleidoscope for in which we see the entire world. So, and then knowing your moon sign is really important, because you need to learn how to nurture and nourish yourself, because nobody can do it for you. And this is really, really important to like your love language and relationships, and especially long-term relationships. This is really important. So, but when we're talking about the moon now, it's a water sign as well, water, and it's in the earth. It could do a couple of things. The earth could be dry and crusty, and then the water can come and just moisten it up. You know what I'm saying? And like, I got you, boo. I got you, you know. And then the earth can absorb that water, and something can literally bloom from there. So a lot of times, Taurus moon people are very much seeking and wanting and thriving for comfort, security, sensuality. They love smells. They love, you know, plants, because Taurus is an earth sign, so they love being outside. They love being a part of nature. They love looking like they're a part of nature. They love looking natural, okay? This is like their real thing. They're down to earth people. They are very loyal and persistent and consistent people. Because Taurus is a fixed sign. You know, during the spring equinox, because that's part of the astrological story, Aries starts things off, right? You need that spurt to go through the soil. You need that to bloom, boom. But then you need something to maintain it. You know, you need somebody to come and trim the wedges and hedges and like do all the leaves and all that kind of stuff. So that's what Taurus does. Taurus is known for being that consistent thing, but they can be very stubborn, very bullheaded, okay? Very immovable, slow to move, slow to anger. See, they're slow to anger, but once you get them angry, Lord, child, Jesus, okay? They will just keep going and going and going and going and going, because they are fixated. Then they will be fixated on their emotions. And if their emotional state is disrupted, and now they have discomfort instead of comfort, they have lack of security instead of security, they gonna be a little crazy, okay? Taurus moon people can get and they can get handsy, all right, because they rule the senses, all right? They rule the body, all right? They rule the body for real, because this is why Taurus people have either a really overabundant relationship with food, a bad relationship with food, or, you know, a good relationship with food. But you have Taurus placements, you're into food, period. Whether it plays a debilitating source in your life, like something that takes up too much of your time, or whether you spend a lot of time in the kitchen, things like this, all right? So if you are disrupting their comfort, their space, the thing that they've worked so diligently to get, they are going to go off, okay? They're gonna go off. They literally be a bull with red eyes, okay? And they see nothing but red, because you disrupted their comfort. And the thing is that now when we're talking about the moon, we're talking about nourishing, okay? We're talking about the relationship also with the mother, or the mother figure in your life, the mother figure. This has nothing to do with sex or gender, okay? Astrology is always about energy, energy, period. Some people hold more feminine energy, some people hold more masculine energy, some people hold more air and fire, some people hold more water and earth, okay? That's just how it's kind of divvied up. And that's what makes us different but relatable at the same time. So the relationship with the mother, there was definitely a stable kind of relationship, all right? The mother provided for the child, like the child didn't really need for much, or the child was given too much as well. And this can make Moon and Taurus people very greedy, okay? They're just greedy in general, like with their comfort, with their security, with their peace, like they're greedy with it. The Taurus people are just gluttonous by nature, especially when you're talking about the moon, and now it's moving every 2.5 days. So there's something else to be gluttonous about, you know what I'm saying? So the relationship with the mother, there was security, there was comfort. Like the mother made it very Venusian, okay? She made life seem good. Like even if you were broke, you didn't know you were broke, okay? Period. You still had a party, you still had the clothes that you needed. Even if it was some thrift store clothes, your mom made that shit look fly, because Moon and Taurus people are all about thrifting, about turning things around, about being so resourceful with their surroundings, all right? This makes these people also very business savvy, all right? They know how to get the basic needs, and they know what comforts people. This is why they're seen and trusted, you know what I'm saying, with people's idea of comfort or conversation or secrets, you know, stuff like that, because Taurus is on the opposite of Scorpio. So because Taurus had the tendency to be able to hold a lot, whether it's emotionally, spiritually, physically, you know what I'm saying? But these people can be very slow to move. Don't tell them what to do. Do not tell a Taurus moon what to do and when to do it. Oh my gosh, no. You don't know what time I'm tending, sowing, watering this plant. You have no clue what my schedule is. You don't know what time the sun is coming out at the perfect degree to hit my plant exactly where it needs to be. So you're not going to tell me about my schedule, okay? Like, do not tell a Taurus moon about no scheduling type of stuff. They don't want to hear it. You know, they just don't want to be disrupted. They can very much be just very greedy, okay? They can be very greedy people. And when a Taurus is low vibrational, they're so greedy. Like, it's disgusting, you know? It's it's like they never come out of the mind stage, you know, the 2-year-old mind stage, and everything is for them, and they don't know how to share, you know? That's how you know you're dealing with a stubborn, you know, non-sharing, like disloyal Taurus. You're not fucking with somebody that's good. That's not a healthy moon in Taurus, you know? A healthy moon in Taurus will cook you a bomb meal and share it with you because they made plenty, because they knew they wanted seconds, and you probably gonna want seconds anyway because that meal they made was bomb. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a little bit about Taurus moon. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you soon. Hi Gemini moon, welcome back to Naturally Lit. I mean, hopefully you won't click out of this video too fast, because I know that your attention span is about this short, but I am going to tell you about your moon sign. Of course, if you don't have your full natal chart, go to astro.com or any other astrology site, put in your birth information, birth date, location, birth time. Is really, really important, because the rising sign does really matter. All of it matters, because you are so unique and different and versatile, right? Moon and Gemini out 10. So you guys need to know that and know your placements. And this is the general idea of Moon and Gemini. Now, the moon is ruled by Cancer, okay? It's our relationship with our mother figure, whoever holds the most feminine energy when we were raised around us, because the womb represents our nourishing, okay, or our malnourishment. It represents the way that we see our emotional space, where we come from inside, where we're coming from. Mars is the fuel that we need to get there. The sun is how we express it. The Mercury obviously is the form in which we express it, but the sun is how we generally express it, you know? And the midheaven is how the world sees it, and your rising is basically how the people in your neighborhood see it, you know, things like that. People who are meeting you see it. People on the internet maybe even would be seeing your rising sign. So with that being said, because, you know, Geminis love facts, Gemini is ruled by masculine and feminine energy. It's an air sign, okay? This makes it mutable. It means it can go wherever it wants to go. It can start things, it can end things, it can do a little bit of work, but then it's gonna keep moving on, okay? Because Gemini is Mercury's planet. Mercury is the fastest moving planet. It's moving so quickly. It's just gathering facts. I always try to explain it like, I just feel like Gemini, the facts are all here. You ever wonder where your ideas come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you ever wonder where your dreams and ideas come from? And when you sit there and then somebody says something at the same time you're saying it and you're just like, what the fuck? How is this happening? How are we so like, oh, are we in tune? Or are we just all thinking the same thoughts? And how can 6 people in the world have the same idea for a very specific car or sneaker or something like that, you know? But there's obviously only a few go-getters out there. And this is what's interesting about Gemini, okay? Gemini, and I have this on my 12th house, all right? And so that's why I really resonate with this energy really deeply, because it's about gathering facts. It's just about gathering facts for facts' sake, period. Like, it's not about having any type of emotional attachment to it. It's not about having any kind of real judgment on it. It's just, hey, this is what's out here and I'm just bringing this to you to deliver it to you. Think about Greek mythology, the, what's his name? The messenger god. I forgot his name. You guys tell me in the comments, but the messenger god, he just drops off messages, okay? Is it Achilles? I think it's Achilles. He just drops off messages, like boom. So Gemini is air, okay? It's also masculine, feminine. So this is why Geminis get a rep for being, you know, fickle and two-faced, and you can't pin them down because they're not pin downable, like at all. And now if we have our moon coming here, so the moon is our relationship, like I said, with our mother. So you might have seen your mother as erratic, witty, you know, super talkative, super gregarious, just maybe she was on joke time all the time, you know what I'm saying? Always just saying a lot of stuff. Or your mother could have been a gossip queen, you know, or just a person that was about facts and intelligence and things like that. She wasn't very emotional, even though she might have expressed herself, because Gemini moons are very animated. She was a very probably animated person. Expression is not the issue. The emotion is the main thing that Geminis are really trying to understand. Okay, they understand it because they are under it. They're under it or above it, but they're not in their feelings. You know, how can air and water really mix? Air and water make what? Like a tsunami, right? Or I'm thinking like a tornado or something like that. It makes this chaotic type of energy, and this is why Gemini rules, the hands. It rules the hands. It rules duality. It rules flexibility, versatility. So now you have the moon there. This can make that person feel really restless, like can never stop thinking, even overthinking your emotion, like just picking things apart and picking up information from different places and taking other pieces of information and really internalizing it and acting as if it's their own, or acting as if that quote unquote thing that they have deemed now a fact holds any real weight over their life. So Geminis are flighty because they don't want to hold on to the emotion, because they've never understood really how to process or how to nourish a feeling fully, other than to express it and talk about it. You know, most Gemini moons don't sit quietly and not say anything unless there's some real crazy stuff going on in your chart. Most Gemini moons don't have a problem expressing themselves. It's just, what am I expressing? Like, what am I talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of ideas around it, a lot of intellectualization around it, a lot of rationalization around their emotions. Like, my emotions have to kind of make some kind of sense. Like, my emotion has to be based on fact. It's a lot of that in Moon and Gemini, you know, and that could be really hard to deal with, because the thing is, Moon and Gemini has to remember that, first of all, perspective and fact are always shifting and always moving from person to person, from day to day, because the moon moves every 2.5 days. So the thing that they were, fest on Monday, by Friday, they took and changed their entire mind about that shit. They're like, nah, man, I don't rock with that. And that's what makes them seem fickle. That's what makes them seem like they're, quote unquote, not reliable. But this, you have to understand, this means, one, they're really, really in tune with the idea of versatility, of being adaptable, of being able to be everywhere at once. This kind of person knows loads of people, you know what I'm saying? Their networks are crazy. Like, they know all kinds of people. And the thing is that they're not necessarily scared of people's emotions, you know? They just don't express, they don't feel it themselves. They'd rather gather other people's kind of pain or happiness or joy or melancholy or greed or whatever emotion that they're going through, and they like to sit there and they like to think about it, and then they might like to journal about it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like some people in life learn through hearing, some people learn through seeing, some people learn through reading, and Moon and Gemini people learn through reading. They read between the lines a lot, and when the emotion comes, that's what can mess them up sometimes, because, you know, emotions are not explainable. Gemini Moon, they're not explainable, they're not rational, they're not intelligent. Emotions just they don't make people or places, you know, they don't make people do intelligent things. They don't. But at the same time, that unintelligence has led us to miraculous things in life. You know, love has made a woman lift a car off her baby. You know, that's not rational or intellectual, but that is miraculous. You know what I'm saying? And that is human, and that is spirit, and that is energy at its purest form. And instead of trying to make everything have a little space, like, okay, I'm sad, so I'm gonna put that on Monday, and then I'm happy, I'm gonna put that in Wednesday. On Tuesday, I don't, you know, I'm probably gonna be confused on Tuesday, and then on Thursday, I'm probably gonna be a little bit more stable on Thursday. I know what I'm gonna do on Thursday, and Friday, well, I'm gonna get my check, and then I'm gonna go out and party. So it's like all these different things going on, you know. There's a need to always be stimulated with Moon and Gemini. There's a need for things to always be going on. And so this is when, because remember, the Moon attracts things. The Moon is receptive. It attracts things. This is why you can attract a lot of fucking drama. You can attract a lot of people talking and gossiping and like your name being thrown out in a lot of places, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of situations, because your low vibrational energy is erratic and confused and just you know, you're all over the place. But a high vibrational Gemini Moon is going to see the fact for what it is and understand that fact can be separate from emotion, and emotion can be separate from actions, and all those things can be together, but they can all be separate, because there's a lot of people out here saying what they do and not doing it, and doing what they say and not doing it, and doing what they say and doing it, and doing what they say and not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Only a Gemini Moon knows what I'm talking about right now, because I have to talk fast like them. But Gemini Moons are witty, they're talkative, they're conversationalists, you know what I'm saying? They're amazing communicators. They just know how to grasp people. But I think what would make them more grounded, because it's hard to ground air. It's very difficult to ground that and to make that real. That's why they probably write a lot or sing a lot, you know, spoken word, things like that. But what would help a Gemini Moon is to stop trying to rationalize everything and understand that life isn't rational. I mean, shit, we were a little sperm, and now I'm here talking to you on the internet, you know? Like, yeah, you could put science behind that as much as you want, but that's still not rational. Like, there's nothing rational about me sitting here talking and why my voice sounds this way and why I'm this height, and you know what I'm saying? There's mysticism. And that's why, Gemini, you have to look to your opposite side, Sagittarius, and turn that intellect and stretch it into wisdom. Because wisdom is something you can stand on. Facts are fleeting. Wisdom, you can stand yourself on. You can ground yourself on that. So that's when a Moon in Gemini, Moon in Gemini is going to be more highly evolved when they see the wisdom behind what people are trying to create in their life, you know what I'm saying? And it's not something you have to agree with. And Moon and Gemini, they're not the type of people that really care about that, but they will hold you to your word, because they're like mental dictionaries, okay? They will remember every single motherfucker word you said, all right? They will pull out the receipts. Moon and Gemini will pull out the receipts. They will pull out, especially if you have it at 8th house, Lord, don't mess with them, because they will pull out all your secrets, honey, all your secrets. 12th house, 8th house, 4th house, they talking about your family now, okay? So that's my Moon in Gemini. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Hi, Cancer Moons. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, baby. Oh, I just wish I could give you a little hug. Well, feel my virtual hug just like this. Welcome back to Naturally Lit. I'm going to be talking about your moon placement. Of course, this is just one aspect in astrology. Go to astro.com or astroseek or astrotheme.com and get your natal chart. You need your birth time, your birth location, and your birth date, so you can get the full story, baby, of who you are. But today I'm going to talk about your moon sign. Now, if it's below the horizon, it's going to be more of an internal, okay, thing that you're going to be dealing with. And if it's above the horizon, and you need external energies to deal with it. All right. So with that being said, The moon is your planet, Cancer. So the moon is traditionally ruled by Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. It's cardinal, so that means that it can start things, okay? Stirring emotions, setting the vibe, setting the energy is what Cancer is all about, okay? Following the vibe. It's like more like setting, not even following, more like setting the vibe and setting the intuition, you know what I'm saying? And the moon is how we were nourished or malnourished in our lives, okay? And depending on how your moon is placed, which house it's in, especially if you have Cancer in the 8th house, you know, that's a very power-driven, power dynamic, emotional situation. Regardless of wherever your moon is in Cancer, your mother played a huge, massive, heavy impact in your life and still does to this day. That is the person that you try to have a life like or try to have a life nothing like, okay? This person inspired and impacted you heavily because this is the moon. The moon is at home with Cancer, okay? It's either overnourished, like your mother could have been so overprotective of you, okay? Wouldn't let you go anywhere, so many curfews, you know what I'm saying? Kind of just put a wall up between you and real life because she felt like she was the only source of your nourishment, okay? And that's somehow how you feel, like you're battling in this lifetime with a type of psychological independence, okay? You feel like the umbilical cord has never really been cut, all right? Moon in Cancer gives you kind of wanting to start a family early. There's urges of wanting to have some type of family environment early. Your home is very, very important to you, okay? You're very sensitive. You're very intuitive. You can feel, especially when it comes to family traumas, you can sense that in people. You can really see what that is because you've definitely had to absorb a lot of emotion in the home, you know, or from your mother. There was a lot of emotion, whether she said it or didn't say it, that you absorbed and now that you walk around in the world with. And Cancer moons need to be nourished. They need to be, in a sense, mothered. They need to be made feel, they need to feel like they're safe and they're protected. Cancers are hard on the outside, okay? That shell on the outside, okay, boom, boom, boom. But that shell on the outside, literally, they could be in deep, deep, deep oceans. But on the inside, they're still squishy. They're still soft. So Cancers go through a lot. They have a very emotional life, emotional filled life, a very watery life, okay? This is why moon and Cancers, they may have a tendency to have big eyes or they cry a lot, okay? Even if it's out of frustration and anger, it might not even be out of sadness, but purely frustration, and they just start crying and they just never understand why, you know, because your emotions, you're water. You are 75% water and then more water on top of that. And then in addition to that, you can pick up on other people's emotional situations, you know. That's what makes people either trust you or don't trust you. But at the same time, a Cancer can be low vibrational, can be really petty, use the shit that they know about you from your childhood and try to use it as ammo against you, you know, type of thing. Bring up old shit. Definitely Cancers are hoarders of nostalgia. Like, they're nostalgic type of people. They depend on the past, like they relive the past all the time. So sometimes it's hard dealing with the moon in Cancer, especially if they've been cheated on or lied to, things like that, you know, if they've been in abusive relationships, because they tend to have flashbacks a lot. They tend to just go back into their past lives and it's hard for them to let go. You know, it's not a fixated sign, but because they're so emotional and the moon does move every 2.5 days, it's, you know, they have a lot of emotional triggers, and the world that we live in is very emotionally stimulated, you know. The music, the art, the movies, the TV, and all that kind of stuff does pull and push on these triggers. So Cancer moons are highly sensitive. They're highly just, they know what it's either like to be nurtured or they don't know what it's like to be nurtured. And a lot of the times Cancer moons will draw in Capricorn type people, and they will realize that maybe their mother's smothering, okay, because there was like some kind of smothering element here, even if it was in a negative sense, that their mother's smothering is that they do want and desire something like that, okay? So a lot of the times, especially with a moon in Cancer man, you know, he needs to be cuddled. Like Cancer moon people want to be cuddled and kissed, and they want to be sensitive, and they want to be vulnerable. They want to be able to do that. Because the thing is, they know that wherever their heart is where their home is, and that's what they're trying to nurture and nourish day in and day out with whatever information and events and circumstances and opportunities and struggles that they go through. So this is why these people are very loyal. Okay, super protective of they're very private people. Okay, any water house is essentially very private, but Cancer is super private because there is some type of, you know, salt in the wound type of effect. You know, if you know my triggers and my vulnerabilities, you could demolish me. This is kind of what Cancers feel like. You know, this is why when they commit, they're in long-term commitments. Moon and Cancer people don't necessarily leave because you cheated. You know, they are devoted to making things work at the detriment to their own selves, at the detriment to their own wants, needs, and desires. You know, Cancer moons need to stop being the emotional doormat for their friends, their family, and just because the thing is, y'all absorb so much already. You already absorb so much, and you don't even realize that people come and they kind of just dump stuff on you. And if you don't have practices like, you know, having sage and Palo Santo and prayer, meditation, or writing, or something that is able to move that emotion out of you, you're gonna be overly sensitive. You're gonna be overly moody, you know, and then people are gonna say that, oh my God, you cry all the time, or oh my God, you do this all the time, or you just complain or whatever, you know, you whine. Like Moon and Cancer people can be very whiny people because they don't know how to let go of the past. Like the past defines a lot of their future. So it's really good for Moon and Cancers to keep recreating their past and to just let yesterday be their past. You know what I'm saying? So they can build a better future. They don't have to keep worrying about what happened when they were 5. What happened when you were 5 is information enough to get you moving to the next thing. It's not who you always have to continue to be. It is a part of who you are, and you continue building on that. Okay, Cancer moon, very sensitive people. They need to like be around water a lot. They need to live near bodies of water. They need to take, you know, loads of hot or cold baths, you know what I'm saying, to like immerse themselves in water. So if you ever feel overwhelmed, you can definitely do that. Yeah, so that's my take on Moon and Cancer. Let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Moon and Leo, hi babies, how are you? Welcome back to Naturally Lit. I'm gonna talk about your moon placement. All right, Moon and Leo, and of course this is just a little part of your story. You have to look at your entire chart to get the entire, you know, tale of who you are as an individual. So you can go to astro.com, astro theme, astro seek, whatever. You need your birth time, your date, your location. All of these things are very important because the more pinpointed, the more direct you can be with the information. So with that being said, we're going to talk about your moon in Leo. Your moon is your subconscious, it's your emotions. The moon is ruled by Cancer. It's how you were nourished or you weren't nourished, okay? It's your relationship with your mother, the feminine energy in your life. It could be your grandmother. It could be whoever holds the most feminine energy. It has nothing to do with sex, all right? So with the moon is, think about it, it's at nighttime and it illuminates the night. It wants to kind of be the only thing that shines. It absorbs emotion. It's all the way in the back of our head, okay? The thing that we don't really understand, the thing that triggers, it's the flashlight that makes us go, That's why it's called our intuition, because we're like shining the light. We're like, hold on a second, you know? And the sun is bright. It illuminates everything. There's no room to hide from the sun, okay? The sun and the moon are actually in opposition. This means they're never here at the same time, okay? But they're here at the same time, but they're never here at the same time in their full capacity. Like one cannot be without the other, but one cannot outshine the other at the same time. At the same time, if that makes sense. Like one, they both need to be seen, heard, okay? The sun is our ego. It's the way that we express and the way that our moon comes out. Because at nighttime, after we've gone through everything, our emotion and whatever we've learned and processed it with our other planets, we come out during the day and our sun expresses that, okay? So, moon, like I said, was nourishing, and it's about your relationship with your mother. Leo rules the 5th house. Leo is about fun and creativity and who I am as an individual, okay? It rules politics, fame, music. This is why Moon and Leo people need a soundtrack. Like they have a soundtrack to their life. This is what Moon and Leo people do. They have a soundtrack to their life. They know exactly where they were, especially if you're a Cancer sun. You know exactly where you were, what time, when you heard that track, all that kind of stuff. Okay, these people want to dance in the sun. They want to be kids. They're playful. They're playful. They're big kids. These are big kids. This is big kid energy. Okay, and don't forget about the Leo is about royalty. So there's a type of royal essence with these people. They always want some kind of lavishness. There's drama, okay, around these kind of people. They can exaggerate their emotions, exaggerate what happened. It's also a fire sign, and there's fixed, so they can also be fixated, and they can also become obsessive. Okay, Leos very much can become obsessive because it's also about power too. The sun can warm you up, but it also can burn you out and dry you up, honey. It could leave everything here scorched, torched, and don't give a fuck. Like, I was like, okay, I gotta go. I'm on to the next one. All right. Moon and Leo people. So there's kind of like, there's a battle there between your emotion and who you express yourself to be. But in my opinion, I think that Moon and Leo works well together because they know when to come off and on. Like it's knowing when to switch it on and knowing when to switch it off. And it's not necessarily in a manipulative way, unless of course they have some kind of weird placements, okay? People can be very manipulative, but when you see them in their high vibration, they're literally being like big kids. That they're being big kids, and they're super encouraging because they need to be encouraged. Okay, Moon and Leo people need to be surrounded by people with bravery and courage are their emotional spectrum. All right, now Leos, just like other signs and other elements of it, like air, cannot necessarily ground themselves. Okay, I feel like Leo moons tend to blow things out of proportion, make things bigger than what they need to be, honestly. And therefore they want to burn out their emotion. Okay, they're like, okay, I'm sad, just let me burn it out, let me burn it out. Like they just wanna you know, get through it because they are so passionate. These people have a desire to live. Like most likely Leo moon people don't have many suppressive thoughts. You know, they know they deserve to be alive. Okay, they know they deserve to be alive. They know they deserve to be seen, to be felt, to be heard. But sometimes they're pushing out so much that they forget to take in. Okay, they forget to really let themselves feel it. This is always with the fire signs. They don't let themselves feel it. They rather just kind of burn it away. You know, like, okay, it's here, all right, it's gone. You know. And Leo moons, they want to make jokes out of everything. They'd be joking all the time, always telling a joke, always wanting to make people laugh so they can deflect. Instead of being honest with what they feel, they can instead just laugh about it first because they want to err on the side of optimism. They want to err on the side of, you know, happiness. They just want to be happy. So sometimes they have a bad time with really letting the quote-unquote bad negative emotions even take up any type of space in their human experience. They feel like happiness is the only type of emotion that should be around. Okay, and if you have a Libra sun, then it makes you very non-confrontational, makes you very like, oh no, oh yeah, it's just kind of like laughing things off all the time. So Leo moons, you know, they're great encouragers. They're super motivating. They're super warm and ambitious, hella creative, okay? Because now you have the subconscious. Now the creativity is laying in the subconscious, all right? So they dream. Their dreams are filled with experiences and like stage and lights, and there's so much stuff going on. They can create so much, you know, in their own world, especially if they have heavy Pisces placements. These people are insanely creative, you know, and driven to make that happen, to actually realize it. That's the good thing with Moon and Leo people. They have ambition, okay? And if you don't, that means you have Saturn somewhere there, or, you know, some kind of transit got you fucked up. But Leo moon people are hard to keep down. Now they can become obsessed with power and with being dominating. So they can become emotionally dominating. And that's something you have to be careful with, because they can play on people's emotions, because the thing is, they don't really know how to feel it all the way through, so they don't really care sometimes, you know. Unless there's some good water placements there, then of course they're gonna understand emotions. That's what's gonna chill them out. But all in all, make sure that your Leo moon, that you're not being emotionally manipulative, because you really can be, and it's easy for you to do it because you can play on other people and who they are and their identity. All right. Make sure you're being very cognizant of that. Leo moons, they just want to be respected, yo. They want to be respected. They want to be admired. They want to be known. They just want to be known. They want to be known. And whether that's on the stage, you know, in politics, or in a one-on-one relationship, they want to be felt. They want to be felt. They want their energy to fill you up. Okay? These people are usually really bright, optimistic people, really fun people to have in your life. When they're sad, you know, they don't usually stay down too long. That's what I really, really love about Leo moons. They don't really usually stay down too long. If they're not obsessed with power, have a lot of Scorpio placements, things like that, you know, saying that they're not working in their higher vibration, then they're gonna be wild. You know what I'm saying? Because Leo moon, they're wild. They're wild at heart. They're moons. They're lions. So lionesses. They just want to, you know, rule the kingdom, rule the queendom. So depending on what that is it their own that they want to rule, or is it other people's? And also, moon and Leo people could be, you know, emotional shoppers, buying things to make them feel better. Anyway, that was my take on Leo moon. Tell me what you guys thought. Talk to you later. Bye. Virgo moon, welcome back to Naturally Lit. I'm going to tell you a little bit about your moon placement. This is a general reading. If you don't know your natal chart, go to astro.com and put in your information, birth date, time, location, all very, very necessary, so you can get a very specific type of reading and interpretation. And also, if your moon is between the 1st and the 6th house, then this is going to be more of an internal feeling. And if your moon is from the 6th to the 12th on the top of the horizon, it's going to be more of an external need, okay? More of an internal versus external needs. So like seeking it from other people and then need to being able to get it from yourself, okay? Type of thing. Now the moon is your emotions. It's ruled by Cancer. It is the cardinal water sign. It is your relationship with your mother figure. And this is about energy. This is not about sex, male or female, okay? This is about the mother figure in your life. The person who nourished you and nurtured you, or who did not. So depending on where it is, this is how you're gonna see it. So with a Virgo moon, Virgo is an earth sign. It's mutable, meaning it can change. It can start things, it can end things. It doesn't necessarily, you know, like it doesn't necessarily fixate on things. It's always moving. It's always making something happen, because it's ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is our fastest ruling planet, all right? And Mercury is about information. And so now we have an earth sign with information, and with the moon. And when I was talking about the moon in my other videos, is the moon is watery, it's emotional, okay? And so now you put that together with the earth, and this is absorbing things. And Virgo rules the nervous system, all right? Each part of the planets rule a part of our body. This is why it's really great for healing and stuff like that. And Virgo is known for healing and wellness and health and daily routines and the meticulousness of life, okay? About getting down to every detail, about analyzation, about being critical. It's about minimalism. It's about taking out what you don't need. Virgo comes after Virgo comes after Leo. Leo parties. Virgo cleans it up, okay? That's what happens. And so this is why Virgos can be seen as OCD, as tight, as not, you know, a lot of people, when they're in their low vibration, they're just trying to control every single thing. And now if you put the moon together with Mercury, the moon moves every 2.5 days. Mercury is the fastest moving planet. So now you kind of have this going on. So a lot of people with moon and Virgo have issues with anxiety and or depression because it's hard for them to stabilize their emotions. It's hard for them to stay right there with however they're feeling because they always feel like there's something to fix. There's always something to alter and shift and change, and it's never really done. And I need to be of service to other people, and I need to be working, and I need to be, there's always this constant movement, okay? It's similar to Gemini, but Gemini is air, now Virgo is earth. So this Geminis can let go of things a lot easier than Virgos can because Virgo is an earth sign. So this is why if you have even moon in the 6th house, you have issues with anxiety and depression and nervousness, like feeling and overthinking all the time, So now you're overthinking your emotions. You're overthinking, oh my gosh, well, I did this thing and I know it's going to affect this thing because I did this wrong. And there's a lot of self-sabotaging with the moon in Virgo, a lot of not allowing yourself to learn. Even though Virgo is about learning, which I just find really interesting, you know what I'm saying? A lot of Virgo people are very well studied because they are so meticulous, because they have to keep going over every single detail all the time. It's not, they're never lazy. It's not that. And it's not even about erratic energy like a moon in Gemini. It's just about a over-analyzation of any situation that they're in, every situation that they're in. You know what I'm saying? It could literally be their food that they're over-analyzing. This has to stay on this side of the plate, and this has to stay on this side of the plate. Everything has to have its place. That's what Virgo is about, Virgo, and we need that kind of energy in the world because if everything didn't have its place, then beautification couldn't be what it is, or ideas or buildings could not be built and stand up the way that they are. There's an architecture to life, and I feel like Virgos are the architect of life, but when it comes to your emotions and you're trying to be an architect of your emotions, that's going to cause not enough space for you to actually emotionally grow naturally. It's a forced emotional growth with moon and Virgo. It is the opposite is Pisces, and Pisces is where things get lost in translation. This is why Virgos always have to feel like they have to do so much to make sure that nothing is lost, no detail, no data, no bit. I have to make sure everything is here. So moon and Virgo people they can definitely be very, very petty. Hold on to every single word that you said, you know what I'm saying, and use it against you because they feel like, oh, well, that's protection because that's going to keep everything factual and grounded. Like they want to be so in the world that they literally start burying themselves emotionally, and they feel like that's the only way to stay rooted because of that Pisces on the other axis, because that energy is really strong, and I feel like more people need to talk about those energies, So moon and Virgo could just make you, yes, you're very humble, you know how to talk if you wanted to talk, but sometimes you don't feel like you don't want to be a big deal, and you don't want to be a burden on somebody else because of your emotions. But the thing is, see, moon and Virgo, you don't let other people decide. Everybody's a grown up here, you know what I'm saying? We all get to decide who we get to interact with, what kind of life we get to have, that kind of thing. So, you're allowed to have conversations with people and tell them things, and they're also allowed to be like, hey, I want to hear it, hey, I don't want to hear it, you know what I'm saying? But moon and Virgo people are very they're very hard on themselves emotionally, they just feel like emotions, because Pisces is on the other side, like I keep saying, and Pisces is about losing detail. I'm telling you, it's about illusions and lies, and Virgos want clarity. They want the truth. They want honesty. And sometimes they don't feel like their emotions can fill that for them. Sometimes they feel like their emotions are not valid enough to be their truth or to be the honesty in their life. So this is why they can be very, very, very hard on themselves, emotionally, and spiritually. They feel like sometimes they have to go into solitude and put themselves away from everybody because nobody's gonna be able to handle how much they're gonna want to spew, because Moon and Virgo people spew. When you get them revved up and started, they're just gonna like all of it, you know what I'm saying? Because they have a tendency, they have so many details, they've held so much in, I don't know, they take away the stuff that we don't need, but now do they discard it? That's a whole nother question. It depends on what kind of Moon and Virgo person you are. So Moon and Virgo people are, this is the reason why most of y'all are nervous. This is the reason why most of y'all are depressed, because you feel like you're gonna be judged for the way that you think, the way that you think that you feel. You think because you have a tendency to judge that in others, you know what I'm saying? Like the relationship with your mother either really focused on you just being successful and needing you to be of the earth, and like needing to do work and needing to do chores and be of service and be humble, and you know what I'm saying? Your emotions don't matter. Your emotions are not rational. So if they're not rational, they hold no weight. They hold no quality. They hold no real lifespan here, or your mother could have been, and that same spectrum, very, very, very religious, because Pisces on the other end, like I keep saying. So she could have been very, very religious, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter. It's whatever God says, and your feelings don't matter. And so then you become that kind of person. You become more detached and cold, and you become more you put all your emotions in little boxes, and you're like, nah, I don't need that. Or you try to discard certain things or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then because you weren't able to really express freely how you were supposed to feel, because there's always some kind of judgment, some kind of critique around the way you expressed your emotions, your subconscious, your triggers, your trauma. It was always being analyzed and talked about, even, type of like nobody could keep their mouth shut about what you said to, your sister or something like that. There was no real trust. So there had to be, you have to overanalyze everything. You have to overanalyze or over communicate everything, because your sense of clarity is so skewed because you've been lied to somehow, in some way, your entire life. Something has been cloudy, and now because of that, you just want everything really refined and everything really detailed, and blue is blue and red is red and green is green, and that's what I said. I hope blue is blue, red is red, green is green. That's what I said. You heard me, right? You heard what I say. Write it down, and I'm gonna text it to you too, so you don't forget, because there was, stuff going on with that. But that's just my little interpretation about Moon and Virgo. Don't be so hard on yourself, baby. Let it be. Emotions they don't need to be explained, okay? Bye. Hi, my Libra moons. Okay, welcome to your video. If you don't know your moon placement, I would highly suggest you get it at astro.com or astro theme, something like that. You need your birth time, your birth location, and your birth date. All of that information is very important, because your rising sign is basically how you express this energy, or how people, honestly, it's how people perceive how you express this energy, okay? So with your moon placement, the moon is ruled traditionally by the mother. The mother is how you learn to nurture yourself. It's either nourishment or malnourishment, okay? It's your relationship with the mother figure in your life, and this doesn't have to do with sex. This just has to do with feminine energy, okay? So the person who told you how to receive or not receive, and therefore it's malnourished, okay? And this is your emotional space. It's your heart space, all right? It's like your insides. It's what people don't really truly know. It's like your moon is what your boo sees, hopefully, is what your parents see, or your best bestie sees, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else kind of meets your sun and your personality, which is great, but your moon is where everything stems from. It's your foundation. So your emotional foundation. And now you have it with Libra, okay? Libra is an air sign. It's ruled by Venus. It's the second octave of Venus, because traditionally it's also ruled by Taurus, but that's an earth sign and it's more fixated. Libra is cardinal, meaning it can start things, okay? So now you put the moon together with Venus. First of all, if you have a Libra moon, you're probably fucking stunning. you're beautiful. Your soul is beautiful. You express yourself beautifully. There's just something that is so innately beautiful about you, something that is so innately balanced, peaceful, harmonious. Okay, people with a Libra moon, I call Libras the mirrors of the entire zodiac, because water is as well, but the way that I want to say this is because Libras are communicators. Okay, they want peace, baby. They want peace. They don't want no drama. Libra moons definitely don't want no drama. Now, do they start drama? That's a whole different conversation, because it depends on what's going on in your chart. But Libra moons are just, they're diplomatic by nature. Okay, they're the I don't want no beef type of sign. Now, if you are a Libra moon who is aggressive, look at your Mars sign. Okay, you might have an Aries moon. You might have an Aries sun, Aries rising, you know, Mercury and Aries, something like this. So this is going to make you way more direct. But most Libra moons are here to create the peace, create the vibe, you know, and just make sure that everybody is heard. Make sure everything is fair. And there's justice. There's beauty, you know. Libra moons, they love discussions though. See, that's what a lot of people think. They don't like to talk. They love discussions. They love to conversate, to relate to other people, to be social. Okay, these people are highly charming because they talk to so many people. So their personality really gets to be flexed and used. All right, but because this is an air sign, they have the tendency to just be nice for no reason. Like, I have a South Node in Libra, okay? So the thing is, I understand this energy. The diplomacy gives you a lack of decisiveness, okay? It gives you a lack of directness and bluntness, because Libra is the opposite of Aries, and Aries is all about being direct and independent and getting it like how I want it. But Libra's on the other side, like, no, I think we should wait for other people. So Libra moons are the people that will get the plans together for everybody, you know, make sure that they're very accommodating, all right? They just want to make sure everybody's good. Like, is everybody good? If everybody's not good, they don't feel good. Therefore, this can make them by nature restless, because if you're dealing with the moon, which in essence is your subconscious and it's your mind, and now you have air there, you know, that's endless. That is endless restless energy, because pleasing everybody is an endless job. It will never end. It's infinity. You know, the concept is infinity. It will never stop. So Libra moons are people pleasers. They just want to, man, y'all are so indecisive. It's crazy. Y'all are so indecisive, indirect, you know, very passive aggressive, especially because you do have Aries on the other side. So you have an aggressive nature. Don't get it twisted. Libra moons are aggressive. Okay, they're aggressive. But the thing is that their moon moves them to a place of, okay, the other side of aggression is peace. You know what I'm saying? You have to have two sides of the same coin. So with Libra moons, they don't want to disappoint. They don't want to disrupt. They don't want to contradict, even though they are contradictory by nature. Because the thing is, they will literally sacrifice their well-being, their mental health, their spiritual health, their physical health for somebody else. A Libra moon is just very movable, very, what is it called? What do I want to say? Influence, like when you can influence somebody. You guys tell me in the comments below. Somebody who can really just gives into peer pressure, especially young Libra moon. They give into peer pressure a lot because they want to be liked by everybody, you know. But Libra moon is hard to be. You cannot be liked by everybody. Statistically, it's just not even possible. So yes, these are beautiful, charming, diplomatic people who fight for justice, who fight for peace, who fight for everybody's voice. They want everybody to be heard. You know what I'm saying? These people do believe that everybody has a right to be identified, to belong. Okay, there's a sense of belonging when it comes to Libra. But at the same time, Libras can be desperate for compliments from other people in a way that Leo isn't. Leo is confident by nature, okay? Libra is confident because of other people's opinions. And this is a lot of any Libra placement. If you have your Venus here, your Saturn here, you know what I'm saying? Saturn will be a little different, but if you have your Venus, your Mercury here, you're just, you always want to, you're always trying to err on the side of grace. But life is not always graceful. Life is chaotic and it's crazy and it's messy, you know? And so by nature, Libra moons become messy because they're not being upfront. Libra moons live on white lies. They live on mistruths, omission. They do a lot of omitting information. Like, they don't think that you can handle it. They don't think, because the thing is, okay, so the moon is also your mother. The relationship they have with their mother, it was just about image. You know, their mother might have been very graceful, very elegant, beautiful, but the way that you perceived your mother more times than not, depending on which house it's in, what aspects are going on with this moon, you saw your mother as a person, or the person who was the mother figure as a person who was trying to uphold an image. And upholding an image is exhausting. So now it's hard for Libra moons to really feel their own emotions, because honestly they don't even know what's theirs. They don't know, because they pick up so many thoughts and ideas from other people and the way that they think life should be, right? Libra is about idealism. There's a sense of perfection in there. There's a sense of everything has to have its place, but even chaos has its place, Libra moon. So they can definitely be people who are people pleasers on the bad side. They can be super indecisive. They can kind of overpromise things, and therefore they'll become flaky. You know, they kind of overbook themselves. Libra moons have the tendency to, like, because they're always invited everywhere because they're so charming and so beautiful, and they're just so diplomatic and graceful and unproblematic usually. You know what I'm saying? Libra moons are unproblematic unless you have Aries placements. Then you probably like to start a little shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially you might be a shit talker. But these people, that's why with Libra moons, these people can be lawyers, you know, fight for people's rights, be social workers, care about people and how they feel, and that they want to be heard and they want to be seen. But a lot of times Libra moons don't know how to feel or be heard themselves. They are too reliant on other people's emotions to inform them how they feel about their own shit. So that's a little bit about Libra moon. You guys let me know what you think about this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Hi Scorpio moons, this is your video. Okay, Scorpio, you know we got to get into it. This one's going to be a little heavy, but you guys are Scorpio moons, so you already know you deal with this energy a lot. If you guys don't know your moon placement, okay, go to astro.com or something similar and get your birth date, birth location, and birth time, which is really, really important. Go ask somebody in your family. Somebody knows around when you was born, you know, like a phone call was made or a text or something. And this makes your birth chart literally the most accurate. It is your life, nobody else's life but yours, okay? So that's why you need the time in your chart. It's super, super important. And like I said, people always ask me, what if I don't know my time? First, question why they're taking it away. And I can tell you guys this because y'all are Scorpio moon, so research is your thing. So that's one, boom. Two, just ask somebody in your family. Somebody knows. Somebody does know. All right, boom. All right, now, when we're talking about the moon sign, we're talking about how you are either nourished or malnourished in your life. The moon is ruled by Cancer. Cancer is your mother or the mother figure. This has nothing to do with the sex or gender. This has everything to do with energy, okay? And this is why I love astrology, because again, it once again proves that sexuality is just energetic. It's just energy, all right? And with Scorpio moon, you guys definitely need to know this, because this will explain a lot to you. All right, with the moon sign, it's your either, you know, what your emotional space is, your heart space, your insides, where you go to recover, where you go when things are getting hard, you know, what your boyfriend, girlfriend sees, hopefully, what your, you know, the closest people in your life really see from you. When you allow yourself to cry and to yell and to be enraged, that's your moon. Your moon is your raw passion. It's your literally your subconscious, okay? And it's where in the nighttime, when we bring things to light, that's what the subconscious to consciousness, okay? That's what we do, bring dark into light. And all of this is gonna make sense for my baby Scorpios, okay? Because I'm a Scorpio and I have plenty of planets in Scorpio. I have about 5 of them, all right? So I feel this energy very heavily. However, I don't have a Scorpio moon. And what I'm gonna say about this is Scorpio moon is, at the end of the day, any placements in Scorpio is about malnourishment. All right, there's a secrecy behind that. There's intensity and passion. So Scorpio is about death, rebirth, sex. It's about transformation. It's about transmuting hate into love or love into hate. It's about power, okay? It's about power, baby, and honestly, high sexual power. And what that really means, because sexual power is creative energy. It's a creative force, okay? You could be changed, you could be harmed, traumatized, or you could be healed through sex, all right? Now, Scorpio, together with the moon sign, all right? That's malnourishment. That's malnourishment, period. There's no other way to explain this. Now, it's not that there wasn't a good relationship, that you didn't have good relationships, but there was some kind of passion missing, some intensity missing from your end, not being recognized and being seen by other people, places, and things outside of your existence. Moon in Scorpio. Okay, first of all, this is two water signs put together. All right, this is double water. This makes you watery, so this is gonna, period. Scorpio moons, don't let them fool you. They are the most sensitive people. The most sensitive, more almost as sensitive as Pisces moon. They are the most sensitive, but Scorpio moon is very sensitive. They're very psychic and empathic, okay? Because Scorpio deals with merging with other people's energy. It's about when you have sex, yes, you can have it by yourself, but Scorpio is sex with someone else, all right? Because Taurus is more about self, is about masturbation, about self-sex. Scorpio is about sex with somebody else. It's about bringing two energies, merging them together. So any planets in Scorpio means that there was some type of power struggle. Okay, your mother figure was very powerful, very controlling, all right, very secretive, extremely overly protective, all right? This is Cancer, but on another level. This is on another octave, all right? Because when it goes into Pisces, then everything is lost. So when we think about Scorpio energy, it's Mars and Pluto, right? These are the planets that rule it. Mars is about poignant passion, raw aggression, anger, violence. It's rage, blood, warfare. Mars is the only planet that does its own orbit. It's about independence. It's about your libido. Okay, this is what makes Moon and Scorpio people so sexual, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they are sexual themselves, because especially if it's a repressed sexuality and you have Saturn there doing something to it, if it's Saturn squaring, you know what I'm saying? You might be fighting sexual urges. You might have Saturn conjunct your moon. That means you don't feel like you're allowed to express yourself sexually. But people with Moon and Scorpio have magnetic sexual presence, period. And this is really important to know, especially if you have young children, okay? Because Scorpio is about triggering. It's about traumas. It's the crisis house. It's the house that you go into before you even get enlightened in spirituality. The 8th house. The 8th house is about death. It's about ego death. So these people go through traumatic things. Scorpio moon, that means there was a huge loss, huge grief that you were just not able to even digest. You weren't able to move on from that, okay? That trauma still sits with you to this day. If moon is sitting in, you know, the 8th house or the 12th house, that's sexual deviancy, all right? That's molestation, rape. This is what Scorpio moons have to deal with. They have to deal with abuse, trauma, being lied to, all right, being repressed, not being able to express themselves at full capacity, not being able to have that self-empowerment with other people. There's a difference between being self-empowered and being an individual and being on your own. This is now, how am I empowered with other people? And this is why Scorpio energy can become, on the negative side, so maniacal, so obsessive, controlling, power hungry, okay? Because Scorpio is about power, but me with other people. Leo's about me. I got power on my own, baby. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm doing something with a team, where is my power at? How am I drawing in this power, or how am I giving it out? Scorpio moon people deal with a lot of sexual thoughts, a lot of sexual energy, even when they're very young, because there was something that wasn't expressed. All right, there was just a loss, a grieving, traumatic event. All right, most times Scorpio moons have experience someone close to them dying, specifically their mother, all right, or their mother going to jail, or their mother being an alcoholic or something like this, or just being abused by their surroundings, by their parents, by their environment, things like that, okay? Because Scorpio does rule death. So you have to understand, when we're talking about a Scorpio moon person, we're talking about somebody that has gone through things that we don't really understand, because Scorpio is a karmic placement. Now you have your emotions there. You have your insides. Now, next to karma, I know a Scorpio moon person who literally was fostered, you know, lost one of their partners and then lost one of their other brothers. These people deal with death all the time, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be outside of themselves, but it's within themselves. It's an internalized death. Anytime a Scorpio moon goes through some type of gain or loss, that person changes, period. And if they're not aware of this, if you guys are not aware of this as a Scorpio moon, you'll be drowned by this energy. But the thing is, the reason why you were given this in this lifetime is because you have the capability to heal other people. Scorpios can be very, you know, dramatic, very vengeful, very ruthless. They can be all these things because they understand what compassion, empathy, sensitivity, and real raw connection can actually manifest. So when we're dealing with a Scorpio moon, we're dealing with somebody who has a lot of crazy emotions, okay? Emotions that they can't necessarily pinpoint. It's not that easy for them to really understand that the loss of their mother or the relationship they have with their mother literally carries on with them till this day. You know, especially if you have a Scorpio moon man, he can be really, really vile towards women. And maybe it's because his mother used to get beat up by his father. So now he disrespects women because his mother never stood up for herself. So there was a loss of her power, okay? There was a loss of your mother's power in some kind of way. So this is what makes it hard for Scorpio moons to be intimate, to be vulnerable, because there's this volcano happening underneath, okay, that they haven't dealt with yet. And it is through relationships and events and traumas that they really have to heal themselves. You know, really, really must heal themselves. So dealing with the Scorpio moon is very, very interesting. It's not an energy that is for everybody, and I can absolutely understand that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Scorpio sun with a bunch of planets in Scorpio, so I can understand that. But I know where my Scorpio moons are coming from, okay? These people will heal the hurt that we have. These people are connected to trauma, to crisis, in a way. But if we didn't, we wouldn't have doctors, EMTs, lawyers, people who come and jump down in the subway when a baby fell in. Those are our Scorpio moons. You know what I'm saying? These people put their lives on the line for you. That's why it's hard for them to commit. But when they're committed, they're fucking committed. Okay? But I think that's all I'm going to say about Scorpio moon in this video. You Scorpio moons, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. What's up? This is your video, Sagittarius moon. Welcome. If you don't have your moon sign, I would highly suggest going to astro.com, and you need your birth time, birth location, and birth date, all very important, so you get the specific time that you were born in your natal chart, because you are not like anybody else, baby. You are very, 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 very unique, okay? So the moon. Okay, that's your mother, but not just like the female, okay? It's who was giving you nourishment or malnourishing you, okay? The person whose womb you felt closest to, or where you grew up, and how you felt about your mother, or the relationship you could be having with your mother, that kind of energy. It's where we go for our emotional therapy, you know, like how we go to heal ourselves. That's also the 8th house, but it's definitely how we go to internalize and take the things that we feel, and how we then move forward or not move forward, okay? But with Sagittarius moon, baby, that's not a problem. All right, Sagittarius moon. Sagittarius is all about Jupiter. Jupiter is your planet. It's the planet made out of gas, honey, okay? That's why y'all always gassed up. All right, you're a fire sign, you're mutable. All right, so you can do a lot of things driven by passion, adventure, travel, wisdom, philosophy, faith, religion, higher learning. You just want to know more. It's where your ethics, moral, and integrities lie. Okay, this is what Sagittarius and Jupiter is all about. It's your gifts, your blessings, your talents. That's what it's about. It's how you are going to be blessed in this lifetime. And with Sagittarius moon, yes, these people are very, very funny. You know, they're very lighthearted in a sense. They are adventurous at heart, and they want to get to know different people, and they're very cultural, and they like to really, really, really explore the world as much as possible with no kind of limitation, because this is a fire sign, so fire doesn't like to be held down. Okay, this is why Sagittarius moon are known for ghosting people. All right, y'all know y'all be doing it. Don't look at me like you know what y'all be doing. Y'all be ghosting people. Y'all be just be disappearing, texting a whole bunch of funny shit, being flirtatious like you always are. But oh my God, I'm not flirtatious. I'm just naturally witty and wise and gorgeous and, you know, full of life. And that's what people find you flirtatious as. And then you ghost on them. Rude. Rude, you know, but these people have some kind of deep wisdom inside of themselves. They have this way of looking at life and not holding on too tight. See, that's a good thing we can learn from Sagittarius moon. They know how to detach, and they know how to still be passionate but move on. You know, they know how to be there but then not be there. They know how to be with you and not be with you. They're very mutable. Okay, mutable energy is about being whatever. It's about, okay, being in and out. So this then manifests into them being in and out of people's DMs, okay, or in and out of your phone, your text messages. You might delete them, then you might put them back in. You might delete them, might put them back in. But this could mean that your relationship with your mother, you just felt distant from her at some point, or you might have been fostered or adopted, depending on your place in the Sagittarius and where your moon is. You could have definitely, your mother could have been a scholar. She could have been very, very religious, okay? This could have been growing up in a very religious household, all right? There could have been a lot going on, just people being very jovial and jokey. People were just jokesters, you know? You saw everybody as kind of just throwing jokes around, and that's how you guys communicated with each other. You guys are not emotional. Sagittarius moon is not about being emotional. These are fiery people, okay? They're lit up by life. Sagittarius moon are not necessarily, they're another moon sign that doesn't necessarily get depressed unless they have different depressing placements or placements where they feel pressured, okay? Unless you have Saturn there, or, you know, you might have a Capricorn sun, or, you know what I'm saying, or Capricorn sun, Capricorn rising type thing, and then you feel like you have to repress yourself, you have to put yourself down. But Sagittarius moons, they just want to be free, okay? They love freedom. They want to be able to choose. And that's one thing with Sagittarius moon. That's why they're upfront, you know, that they'll tell you what it is, depending on how practiced they are, okay? How practiced in their honesty they are. This is how mature they feel like being, because they could be very childish, and they could be very, you know, talk you up. Like, they can exaggerate shit, okay? They have a tendency to over exaggerate things. These people can definitely throw a temper tantrum, but for like long periods of the time, oh my God, and then they'll just be like, you know, just like that, like complete change. Is what the fuck are you doing? Why you change up and switch up like that? There's a lot of switching up happening, because there's like this feeling when it comes to Sagittarius, there's this feeling that the more knowledge they collect, or not even just, yeah, the more knowledge and wisdom they collect, the more that they can know about the world and the ethics and the morality and the cultures, and you know what I'm saying? They know there's more to the world than being emotional or holding on to your emotions. So then they tend to burn out, okay? And they burn themselves out because they don't understand that life is still about emotion, is still about putting it all together, and you can't just be on one kind of fuel forever. And I want to explain it like this, okay? So your rising is your car on the outside, all right? This is how your car looks on the inside. Your sun is, you know, the textures, the colors, the kind of little trinkets that you have up, and the moon is what you're listening to, you know, and what you're listening to and how it might smell in there and things like that. And when it comes to Sagittarius moon, inside their car, they like either have on something that's spiritual, religious. They might be listening to a podcast about school or something like that, about learning about something else, depending on, you know, if they have a Scorpio sun or something like that. They're listening to documentaries and things like that. These people just, they cannot get enough knowledge. There's just this insatiable need. And people to Sagittarius moon are knowledge. They're sources of information. And they understand that people are high valuable sources of information, but so much so that they're just willing to kind of burn the bridges that they create. And Sagittarius moon, y'all gotta be careful, because y'all can have a tendency to burn these bridges, you know, and this is not good in this kind of world. Yes, to get knowledge is great, and to seek your truth. Sagittarius moon, I don't even know why it took me so long to say this. Sagittarius moon are truth seekers to the core. So they don't have time for your bullshit, baby. They just want to be in and out, and your feelings, whatever. If they hurt, they hurt. I already told you how it was, and you clearly didn't hear me when I said it. But your actions sometimes could show different, especially if you have Libra sun or Venus in Libra or Venus in Gemini or something. You could definitely come off as this fickle, kind of irresponsible personality, you know? So you definitely want to be careful with that, because the way that you felt about your upbringing was that you always never felt comfortable enough in the womb that you were brought up in. You were pushed out into the world, like before you could even catch a breath. You know what I'm saying? There was knowledge required of you. You needed to be quick, fast, big, smart, studied. This is how you feel like you have to maintain in the world. You know, this is how you recuperate. This is what intimacy is. You know, this is why Sagittarius moons, they love sex, because sex to them is just like as much as they love sports. Sex and sports, both of them together, oh my God, it's basically the same thing, isn't it? Isn't sex a sport? You know what I'm saying? But these people are genuinely, you know, optimistic. You know, they're funny, they're jovial, they are lighthearted people. They just don't know how to be emotional and ground down. They don't really know how to live in the truth of the moment. They're always seeking the truth of the future and not the truth of the moment. And that's, I feel like, a good piece of advice for Sagittarius moon. Seek what the truth is now. Don't worry about what it's going to be 5 months from now. Just let it be what it is now, because this is still the building block. This needed to be a part of the truth that is later going to unfold, you know, because you guys understand evolution, but let evolution come. You don't have to push it. And therefore, you don't have to push people out of your life to then make them evolve, you know what I'm saying? And kind of give them this, like, whatever kind of attitude about other people's feelings. And with love, passion and emotion, they go hand in hand. Okay? So that's all I gotta say right now about Sagittarius moon. You guys let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, moon in Capricorn. This is your video. Welcome. So if you don't know where your moon is, go to astro.com, put in your birth time, location, birth date, get this thing called a natal chart, boom boom, and look where your moon is, especially which house it's in. It's very, very important which house it's in, of course. And it's just a general reading, okay? This is the moon in Capricorn now. The moon is ruled by your opposite, Cancer. So the moon in Capricorn is actually very sensitive. Don't let them fool you, okay? Because they are on the same axis as Cancer, so they share the same qualities. It's the same coin, different sides, all right? So the moon is your relationship with your mother, and this has nothing to do with the female. It just has to do with whoever was nourishing you or nurturing you and teaching you and showing you emotional stability, okay? Or not showing you emotional stability, malnourishing you and not treating you right. All right, so this is about the moon, your relationship with your mother, for instance, okay? And with the moon, it's your internal world, okay? It's your heart chakra. It's how you recover after heartbreak. It is, you know, it's your safe space that you're supposed to be sharing with your friends, your family, people closest to you, you know, your partner, hopefully, but I don't know about you Capricorn moons, okay? So, that being said, the moon with Capricorn means it's Saturn. So Saturn is a planet with rings, and it's about time and karma and restrictions, and it's about the father, okay? So it's about responsibility and making sure that things have a structure so you can actually build something. So with the Capricorn moon, you had to grow up fast. You know what I'm saying? You had to just be an adult before your age. There was no time for you to be a kid. Spiritually, physically, emotionally, or physically. I think I said that already. But there was no time for you to be a kid. You really had to take over. You were either raised by your grandparent, you know what I'm saying, or you had to take care of a parent, depending on where this placement is. But there was definitely a malnourishment here because the moon is now on the opposite side. It's all the way at the top. All right, in Capricorn. And Capricorn is a practical sign. It's about doing things resourcefully and diligently. So it could be something as simple as your parents are just really strict. You know, a lot of curfews, a lot of like, you had to be home at this time, whatever. A lot of structure. They believe that structure equals success, you know? Or your parent could have been power equals success. All right, there was a power dynamic happening between you and your nurturing parent. So it's different for men and women, you know, you flip the chart, but essentially, Moon and Capricorn people are just hard to reach. They're hard to read. They're very calculating, okay? They're very almost rehearsed, okay? They don't want to let their emotions come up because they had to learn at a very young age that emotions aren't valuable here in the real world. And I'm doing quotes because this is stuff that I don't believe. Emotions are literally the currency of the world. That's what we thrive off of. That's what we live off of. Or else we wouldn't have music, movies, TV, nothing. If it wasn't emotional currency, you know, but Capricorn moons tend to be practical. They're always thinking, what am I gonna do to attain power and legacy for my family, okay? Especially if it's sitting on the 4th house. Because maybe your father failed, okay? Or maybe he was restricted in some kind of way. He couldn't go as far with his dream as he wanted to, and you just saw him being disappointed in himself and putting a lot of responsibility on you to carry the family name. And now you have a Capricorn moon, so you take everything very seriously, and you don't have time for emotions, and you don't have time. You have to have self-control. The only way to get through life is to control your emotions and not to be out of control, and never to be erratic, and not to be emotional or sensitive or moody, because it's just, you know, it's just the way life is. Capricorn moons are talking about respect. I want respect, I want power, I want money, you know, and whatever your value of currency is at the time, that's your form of money. If it's in the 8th house, you might use sex as money, okay? You might say, oh, my sex is my currency, type of thing. So with Capricorn moon, these people can become very distant, cold, okay? Because they don't want to be reached. They really don't want to be reached. It's not that they can't be reached. They don't want to be reached. They will hang up the phone on you real quick, you know? They won't even ghost you. They'll just look at you and be like, I don't even think I have time to explain to you what you did was wrong and irresponsible, but I'm going to tell you anyway, maybe out of the goodness of my heart. But after this conversation, we're going to be done. Capricorn moon will let you know where you failed. You know what I'm saying? Because they were always given the information, and they were definitely knowing when they were failing or when things weren't going positively. So they always had the proof of concept. They always had the contrast in their life. Okay, these people are very contrasting. They're very guarded with their emotions. They're very trying to be practical and logical and thinking that their mind is what gets them first. But when I'm telling you, it's not like that. You know, you better learn manifestation. You need passion, you need emotion, you need thought, and you need practicality to come together so you can make spirit. You know what I'm saying? But with Capricorn moon, don't tell them, because they're factual people. They need theories. They need, you know, they need the truth, but I need it backed up. You know what I'm saying? And they only tend to really look up to or listen to people who have some type of power. You know, they tend to attract older people in their lives, or be the older person, or be the mentor-mentee relationship all the time. There's always some kind of teaching element going on. There's a big disparity, whether it be emotionally, spiritually, or whatever, or physically. There's always a big kind of disparity, and you can see that one person is younger than the other one, okay? Capricorn moon people are also just, they're concerned about building a structure that they can actually depend on. You know what I'm saying? Because they had to do so much stuff on the fly. They had to learn and learn quick, and they didn't have time to figure life out. They didn't have time to be a kid. You know what I'm saying? So there's some resentment there that they didn't have time to live out their childhood, and that they had to go right into adulthood. They felt that immediately. And they can feel very singled out because of that. They can feel very hurt and just, you know, and then therefore they don't want to open up to anybody because they almost feel like they don't have a right to complain that their childhood was stripped of them. And even if it was because somebody was sick in your life, it's still valid to feel like I've never had a fucking childhood. And it's still okay to say that, and it's okay to be hurt by that. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be hurt by the fact you didn't have a childhood. It's okay to be hurt by the fact that somebody died early and it changed your entire life and the way that you saw everything, and you had to become serious and you had to become detached and emotionless just so you could fucking survive. Because you never understood why a little kid had to go through all this. Why would anybody want to put a kid through all this? But Capricorn moon, that's why y'all are resilient as fuck. Y'all are thorough. All right? Sensual beings. About that motherfucking respect. You give respect. You give respect. These are respectful people. Because they, you know what I'm saying? Capricorn moons, they understand kids. You know what I'm saying? They understand people who have never grown up, but then they have a tendency sometimes to attract crybabies. You know what I'm saying? So that they can dominate and facilitate and manipulate and use their power against somebody because they felt powerless over their own decisions in their life. They felt powerless about the hand that they were dealt, you know? But Capricorn moon, you gotta remember everything, baby, is perfect. Even you, baby, you were given that because we need some people to be fucking responsible. We can't ever have everybody be childish out here. We can't have everybody be worried about the details. We can't have everybody be just worried about the family and not worry about the overall legacy of what's going on. Everybody plays their place, you know what I'm saying? And you were given this karmic, emotional life to be detached and cold and more factual and everything like that, to understand, yes, you can live there as well, but you can also integrate real emotion as well. Your other Cancerian side, you can still do that, because don't forget, don't get it twisted. Cancer is the shell on the outside, baby, but Capricorn is a shell with the wall built up in front of it. You know what I'm saying? And you guys have to understand and rectify at the fact that emotions, yes, they are very, very strong. They are energy just like everything else, but it's the weight that you give it, the way that you react to it. And y'all know that by being calculated, but you don't have to be cold. You can also just say your feelings are hurt and let yourself really feel what you're going through. Okay? Because Capricorn moons can have a tendency to kind of just, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Which could mean a lot of things, but that's all I'm gonna say about Capricorn moon right now. So tell me what you guys thought, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Aquarius moon, this is your video. Welcome. If you don't know your natal chart, go to astro.com or something. Birth time, location, birth date, all necessary, so you can get the right information for your specific natal chart, because you are an individual, baby, and there's nobody like you. Okay, I don't even care if you have a twin. Y'all still got a different chart, okay? Even if it's a few degrees, y'all still different, baby. All right? All right, the moon in Aquarius. Let's talk about it. Hey, moon in Aquarius, you already, I'm feeling this energy already because I just got to get hyped. Listen, moon, it's a relationship with your mother, your nurturing, your malnourishment, your you know, your emotions, your inside, your sensitivity, your heart space, how you deal with setbacks, your mind. All right? This is the moon. This is the moon. That's the energy. It's hard on the outside, yeah, but it's squishy on the inside. You know, the moon moves every 2.5 days, so that's why it's called emotional, right? It's emoting. It's energy in motion. That's what emotional means, energy in motion. That's all that it means. So now you have Aquarius. Aquarius is all about chaos, rebellion, revolution, progressiveness, future thinking, independence, group work, okay? Facts, higher learning. It's about others. It's about we too, belonging. So you have the moon here. The moon with Saturn, it just gives it a distant, aloof, eccentric, detached, sometimes cold, quirky, airy feel, okay? Aquarius moon are the emotional, visionary futurists, okay? They are so past emotion because they're so focused on the future. All right, that's why they don't want to attach themselves to anything, because don't get me wrong, they're known to be stubborn too because they are a fixed sign. So once they are fixated on something and obsessed with a way of thinking or a way of making the world a utopia and a better place, then they will be fixated on that thought. But it's not about emotion. It's about, this is what's best for us all, period. I'm willing to sacrifice. You better be willing to sacrifice. There's nothing else about it. I don't give a fuck about your feelings, okay? Because perhaps the way that you grew up, you saw or felt your mother was different, unique, other, not like everybody else. Maybe everybody never really said I love you. You know what I'm saying? But you went to other families' houses and they said I love you, and you saw them at dinner and you were just like, wow, my family doesn't say I love you like 5 times or please or thank you or any of those things. Or vice versa. Because the moon is all about you feeling different. So you as an Aquarius moon, first of all, you were raised different. You felt different. You felt like you were the black sheep of your family. You felt like you just were misunderstood. You were the rebel. Okay, you were the futurist. You were the thinker. You were the person that was progressive in the family. You know, you were just different. You're just on another level. You're on another level, and it's hard to slow you down. It's hard for people to even understand where you're coming from, because the language that you might even internally have with yourself is so beyond what you're even able to describe. So when it comes out in whatever language that you do speak, and let's say for the sake English, that it doesn't even come out correctly in English anyway, because your future thoughts are so far ahead of what the words are even capable of doing at this. There's not enough words in the dictionary for an Aquarius. There's not enough resources, words, there's just not enough, because this is an air sign, right? This is about collecting thoughts. But now this is on another octave, because this is about, yo, we have to make the future better and brighter. How can we do this? So Aquarians are known to be entrepreneurs. They're known to be risk takers, okay? As stubborn as they can be, they take fucking risks because they know the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. So therefore, there's something that subconsciously fucks with Aquarians, that they know that emotions are a big ass risk. Okay, and they don't really know if the reward is quite worth it. All right, because there was some kind of distance feeling or from your mother. Okay, you just felt like she was eccentric. You felt like you couldn't really understand her or you know, or your relationship together, or your relationship was just very, 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 very unique. You know, maybe you were adopted, so that's definitely could give you that kind of energy. All right, this is a very unique thing, and nobody else can really have any kind of say about it, because it's just so yours. And so when it comes to your emotions, it's almost like you're the observer of your emotions. Like your emotions are on the stage and you're sitting there in the audience watching them do a dance. And you understand that they're there, but you don't necessarily interact with it. It's like you observe it, because Aquarius, they're very smart. They know everything that's going on, because remember, they're futurists. But they don't necessarily interact with everything, okay? They don't necessarily interact with things that they can't put their finger on, that they feel will bring them down. And especially when it comes to emotions and things like that, the Aquarius moon person really tries to compartmentalize what they feel from what they think, and what they think they should do and what they feel they should do. Should be 4 different compartments at all times. It should be different things, and I'm just gonna be the most rational, because if I take this with this, with this, with this, and I get this, maybe, or this, or this, or this, and this, and maybe I can, you know, there was just, your family just, or your upbringing might not have been nurturing your emotion, okay, your emotion enough. Or if it's not your emotion, then they hadn't been nurturing your passion enough. If it's not, or your individuality, if it's not your individuality, then they didn't encourage your voice as an individual. You know what I'm saying? So as an Aquarius moon, there's a kind of competitiveness here, you know, with yourself and your emotions. All right. And then when it comes to other people, this is why Aquarius moons like detached sex, because they feel like they can have better control of the issue, and they can compartmentalize the act from the intimacy, from the vulnerability, from the emotion, from the true, from the false. And they know better how to interact with that. And Aquarius moons are just, they're kinky, you know what I'm saying? And they feel like they're so progressive that nobody else can handle them. But there's 8 billion people in the world, and there's a lot of Aquarius moons, so you're really not the only one. That's all that I'm trying to say. Okay, that's all that I'm trying to say. When we all have Aquarius somewhere, I have Mars in Aquarius, okay? So I know the way that I think is not, and the way that I do stuff in the world is not that unique. Yes, it's unique to me, but it's unique, but other people are still making YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. But Moon and Aquarius people are just, they're I want to say retrospective, okay? And especially if you have like some planets pinging off, and especially have you have Mercury next to it, retrograde, you're very introspective, you know how to go in and transform yourself and get yourself through the chaos and create a revolution and a new train of thought and a new identity for yourself to fit in with where society is going, to be changeable. You know what I'm saying? As much as Aquarius is stubborn, don't forget, they're very changeable because they're adaptable, because they understand that it's about community and the society. It's about all of us. You know what I'm saying? It's about all of what we got going on. So with that being said, that's why when you have the moon and maybe the Venus together in Aquarius, they want to have multiple partners, okay? Because they understand detachment. They understand you have something to offer, and 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 I want it all. All right? So these people are forward-thinking, progressive visionaries. They understand the future on a different level. Most of these people create a patent, okay? They create a new trend, a sound wave. That's what they do. They're technology type based people. They're people with kinks. They're people that can be detached, and they can be stubborn. They can be very, very cruel and mean as well if they don't get the way that they think that everybody should be, because if they are fixated on their own thought, at the end of the day, 8 billion people are not going to think the same way. That's all, that's what I mean. 8 billion people are not going to think the same way. But these people are great friends because they really know how to be objective. They know how to be objective and see it for what it is, and but in a way that can be beneficial, and they'll actually help you solve problems. They don't want to see people suffer. They feel like everybody should be able to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? Most Aquarius moons, unless there's some Saturn stuff there, they're really not into a scarcity mindset. They know there's enough for everybody. That's why they're not really attaching themselves to any one thing. That's why they're more of a detached sign. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Pisces. Hi, Pisces baby moon. Okay, this is your video. So if you don't have your chart, go to astro.com and get your birth time, location, and birth date. Put it in and get all your placements, okay? So Pisces moon. The moon is the mother. the nourisher or the malnourisher, the nurturer or the non-nurturer, okay? It's your emotional space, your heart center, how you feel on the inside, your sensitivity, your compassion, your empathy, or your lack of those traits, all right? The quality of your emotional life, the way that you recover from crisis, the way that you express your love on a deepest, profoundest level, you know what I'm saying? And the way that you feel all the way deep down on the inside, more than your son and your everything else. It's just really, really who you are, your core. This is who you share yourself with your partner, or, you know, with your sister, your brother, your close family members, people you feel very, very close to. That's your moon. And Pisces is ruled by, it's a water sign, it's mutable, meaning it can change into everything. And it is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. All right, Jupiter is about blessings, good fortune, blowing things out of proportion, and gifts, and, you know, knowledge and wisdom. And then Neptune is about illusions and nebulousness, and, you know, the imagination and cloudiness, and, you know, the mysterious parts of life. Pisces rules the 12th house. The 12th house is hidden secrets, all right? It's the delusions. It's where we don't know if it's the truth, or if we don't really know what the truth is, okay? The 12th house, it rules prisons, it rules mental homes, it rules places that are not really talked about or seen out in the front, okay? It's places that are hidden away, confined areas. It rules what else does it rule? I think it rules slavery and imprisonment, stuff like that. So when it comes to the 12th house, kind of Pisces energy, okay? So Pisces is where things get lost, essentially. It's where people practice escapism, okay? It's where people are in the spiritual, it's also the world of the house of spirituality, okay? It's the house of dissolving and self-undoing, and knowing that you are not really an individual at all. You are part of something that's way grander and bigger than this ever could be. And Pisces moon, baby. Okay, this is water. Y'all get lost in the sauce all the time. You guys are lost babies. You are lost little unicorns out here, lost in your emotions with no boundaries, no limitations, okay? It's like people are able to kind of do and say whatever they want to you without you even having any kind of repercussion for that kind of behavior, whether it's blocking them or telling them to fuck off or whatever the case may be. It's just, you kind of allow things to happen. And because Pisces is about boundlessness, like I said, it's about going back to one. It's about being nothing again. So if these people just give and give and give and give and give and feel so much, and they're so sympathetic, compassionate, they're empathetic, they're deeply, deeply intuitive, deeply psychic people, okay? People who kind of know deep down inside, all the way deep down inside, that I don't give a fuck about this money, this house, this car. I don't give a really fuck about this relationship, yo. I just want to live in the moment, or you live a little bit beyond it. And I just want to be in this world, and I want to do what I do. And I know this shit really doesn't mean anything, because what is time anyway? What is the world? What is this construct? I know God is bigger than. It's like Pisces people with heavy Pisces placements live in the outer world, okay? They have one foot in and one foot out, and Pisces moon kind of has their head out there, you know what I'm saying? And like maybe their hand in this world and one foot in this world, but their head and their other hand and this foot, the left foot, in the dream world, you know? They're trying to make it make sense. This is Pisces moon. They're trying to make it make sense. So they can also be deeply empathetic and empathic. You know what I'm saying? These people draw on other people's emotions. They draw on other people's clothes and armor. These people martyr themselves for people. These people sacrifice themselves for love. Seriously, like sacrifice themselves. These people will sacrifice themselves for a cause. You know, these people will go get arrested for a cause. They will literally die for something. It's crazy, you know. They will do it. But these kind of people need to exist, and this kind of placement needs to exist, because we need to be able to understand that what are we really, right? Like, what does this mean? Is life worth living if there's nothing to die for? And this is why, you know, that's that energy that they have. So these people can really get lost in their emotions, lost in sensitivity, kind of just letting people do the same shit to them over and over and over again. If you have Pisces moon in the 8th house, you kind of let abuse happen to you over and over and over again. You kind of just give your emotions away, you know what I'm saying? You don't have any boundaries. You kind of just let people use and abuse you. For real, that's what that energy could be. But remember, Pisces can also be the artist, the musician. These people, oh my God, they're so magical. They're so magical. These people are on another level when it comes to creating new worlds, creating new identities. Pisces moon, Aries sun, creating a new identity. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely do that. And it's so brilliant to watch, but also they could be very self-destructive and self-harming. These people could be the type of people who try to like hurt themselves with sharp objects just because they have curiosity. You know what I'm saying? It could be very dangerous because this is the world of illusions, okay? It's clouds and mysticism and the unknown and the secrets, and because they feel so deeply, their emotions are to the depths beyond even what this earth is even capable of understanding, holding, or influencing, impacting upon. Pisces are just like so much deeper than all of that. They're beyond the flesh. They're beyond the flesh. So their behaviors, especially if they don't understand their energy, they might not really understand why they're doing what they're doing. They might not understand why they keep sacrificing every single thing. They kind of, you know, die these insane deaths, okay? These crazy, like, dramatic deaths. It's beyond Scorpio ego death, okay? These people could get lost and never come back to this realm again, okay? That kind of death. So Pisces moon people, you have these kind of friends, please check on them often. They need to be checked on often. They need to be grounded to reality. They need friends that are actually here. They need friends that are practical and sensible, and friends that they actually respect, though, that their point of view, because, you know, Pisces moons, they could be very impressionable as well, especially when they're younger. They're very impressionable. They kind of go with the peer pressure and follow the crowd, okay? Because Pisces is water. So it just kind of goes with the flow of everything, and goes with the flow could be negative or positive. It depends on what else is sitting around with these planets in these aspects. And so with Pisces moon, these people can be, you know, doctors, morticians, social therapists, sex therapists, like, you know, lawyers that work for nonprofits, they're charity owners, things like that. These are people who are out on the street giving the homeless haircuts and feeding people in different hospitals and donating time and money and stuff like that. These are these people because they have this sense of, you know, release. It's like everything that comes into them, they want to release it. So even when they're filled up with too much love, it's almost like they put themselves in situations where they have to release that love, where they have to let it go now, you know. And this is why physical situations can come into those kind of relationships, because it's like, can I really continue loving this? Is this what love is? Yes, this is. But then these people will be like, yes, I did love them, but you know, it was a different kind of love. They'll never not love an ex, a Pisces moon, okay? They'll never not love an ex. They will always hold on to them because they understand that, oh, there was a part of them that was hurt. There was this hidden secret inside of them emotionally. I just couldn't reach it, but hopefully the next person can, because I know deep down inside that this person is a good person and a loving person and a caring person and a compassionate person, because there is this side to everybody. I know there is. There's your spirituality to everybody, and that is true to some extent. However, people don't practice it, so it lies dormant, and that dormancy can literally wipe you out as an individual. So you got to be really careful with that kind of energy, because there are not people that are here that are willing to do the work, you know, until something comes and hits them where it really hurts them, or something that they care about. But some people, that's as far as they're going to get in this lifetime, and everyone doesn't need to be saved. And Pisces moon needs to understand discernment. They need to listen and own up to their intuition, and not say, okay, I listened to my intuition, but I stuck around anyway because I think this is what I should be doing. No, if your intuition, like you have a nightmare at night about something, you need to get up and leave. That's not something you question. You just get up, you leave, you figure it out later. Whoever it is, whatever it is, lie about the situation and say, you know what, my family member called, whatever the case may be, is, and leave. because you don't need to explain that. You don't need to explain why you don't want to call somebody no more. And I am for clarity and I am for closure, but there's also some parts of life. Everything is by context. I always say everything is case by case. Everything is different. That there's some moments in life where no clarity, no communication, nothing is needed, because sometimes you draw on some people that are so lost and triggered and hurt that they're so far gone that you're gonna go into the abyss and never come out. And nobody wants that to happen, especially not to a Pisces moon, okay? You guys are such sweet, sensitive babies. But that's all I gotta say. Let me know what you guys think. Talk to you in my next one. Bye.